Hello, my lovely Gemini, and welcome to your moon reading. This is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. We are approaching a full moon here, so this is actually a full moon reading, and we've got some crazies out there, okay? Don't drive today if you don't have to. They are road raging and driving like maniacs, at least in my experience today. Anyways, we will definitely get in here and do this. I wanted to do a quick shout out for my son. This is not a sales pitch, so bear with me, but he did want me to show. He is making candles. He got a candle kit from Santa Claus, and he's making these candles. As you can see, they're not professional. There's a little crack across this one, but it is in metal, and it does come with a little lid. He makes them in a variety of scents. This one actually does smell really, really, really good. He made this one for Grandma, and she loves lemon desserts, so he made this one lemon sugar cookie. But anyways, if you have any interest in that, I can put it up on my Etsy site, and it's linked in my channel, or you can mention it in the comments and we could do a PayPal or something like that. He's just trying to earn some money for Easter presents and birthday presents for mom, grandma, what have you. So anyway, it's my 8-year-old made it, and again, just wanted to show you that you can see there is a little crack in it. So when he makes them, they may not all be perfect, but they do melt down perfectly and they burn perfectly. I will say that. So anyway, enough with that sales pitch. Let's get to what's important here, and that is your moon reading. We are full moon based here, coming in hot. So my lovely Geminis, let's see what we've got going on here. It's a 7-card moon circle. The first position is what you're facing now, or what position you're in. The second card is what got you into that position. Third card is kind of like a challenge card in typical tarot, and it's what's keeping you in that position. Fourth card is optimal outcome should you follow the 5th, 6th, and 7th cards. And do not worry if you can't see them. We'll go through them one by one so that we can kind of explain them and get you some answers if you are facing issues, problems, concerns, what have you. So the first thing we have here is the realization card. And I think for a lot of you, what I'm seeing here is that you are going through a complete realization overhaul, essentially. And I'm seeing this so much right now, and I don't know if it is because of the shift when Jupiter went into Aquarius, and now we're in that sign, and feeling of change is so dominant right now. People are really kind of coming into, I'm going to live for me. I want things to be different. I want to make changes, and I'm seeing that so much that people are starting to realize I'm not happy with the way things have been going, okay? And it may be relationship, it may be your job, it may be your family, it may be the whole enchilada. And for a lot of people, I'm seeing that. They're like, I'm just not, I don't feel like I'm getting enough back for what I've been putting in. And that's kind of what this is the vibe I'm feeling from this card, is that is where you are. You're feeling like there are so much better, greener pastures out there, better, brighter opportunities. If you look at the card, it's like, I see it out there. I know it's out there. I'm just not getting to it. I'm not living it. And I want to change, right? I need more. And I do feel like so many of you are just kind of coming into that phase. Like, I'm going to change something. I'm going to change everything, and it may be something that is minimal. It could be, or it could be like, I'm ready to jump ship on everything. I may want to jump ship and move to a whole nother country, or I'm tired of being alone, or I'm tired of being with somebody that makes me feel alone. And that is a vibe that I've been getting readings, and I don't know why I keep seeing a person sitting on a couch. It's so bizarre that I'm seeing these readings and I'm seeing this person. They're sitting on a couch, yeah? Their significant other, right, is on like a love seat across the room from them. This is so weird, right? And I keep seeing this while I'm doing readings. It's like the same, it's like almost like a recurring dream, right? The TV's on, both people are on their phone, and the person that is like the main person, like that I would be in my collective here, is like texting their bestie or something about how they hate how lonely they are, but they're in the room with their significant other. but their significant other is like oblivious to their existence, right? So it's like we have these people who are in relationships, right? So it's like you may very well be in a relationship. You're like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone at all, right? But they're completely 10 times more lonely than somebody who's alone. But yet these same people won't leave because they don't want to be alone. And it's like, there's nothing worse for you than being with somebody that makes you feel alone, right? And that's the realization that I feel people are starting to come to. They're almost like, you know what, it'd be better to be alone because then I might at least have a chance to find somebody who pays attention to me. Whereas sitting here in this living room, I'm never going to find somebody because I've got somebody that's blocking the energy of me finding somebody, right? I can't receive until I release. And yet I'm so lonely. They don't want to watch a show with me. They don't want to do anything with me. They don't even want to talk to me. They're buried in their phone. And, I don't know if that's just, I don't know if that's you, if that's your vibe. And I feel like that's a lot of people's vibe. That is a definite cycle you need to get out of. But what got a lot of you into this is gratitude, right? And I think for so many of you, you guys are like, how in the world does gratitude get you into this, get you into a place where you want to switch something up? You're grateful for it, so you want to leave it. That's not exactly what this is about. Gratitude is fantastic. It's a beautiful thing. In fact, for me, for Lent, I am trying to do, multiple things I'm grateful for every day, write them down, and not the big things, because I always am grateful for my big things, my home, my family. But I'm trying to do small things. Like yesterday, mine was, I'm grateful for scent boosters from Bath and Body Works in my laundry because I love to go to bed with clean, fresh blankets and smell that wonderful smell every night. It's just comforting, right? Something little. So I think the problem with gratitude, though, is when you become so used to being grateful for a specific amount of things, right? Like, oh, okay, well, I'm grateful that I just have a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I just, have a job. I'm grateful for, it almost becomes complacency, okay? So you get used to something being comfortable and that's enough. It becomes enough for you. And so you may be at this job that is not fulfilling to you. You don't enjoy it. You go every day as drudgery, but you do it because you're like, at least the check cashes. And I guess I can be grateful for that because I can feed myself, which that's fine. But there's probably a million other jobs that you could do as well and really enjoy, right? I'm not saying you're going to ever love your job, but maybe enjoy more, okay? Relationships, right? You may be living with this person, in a relationship with this person, and maybe you're like, okay, so, but if I didn't live with them and they paid half the mortgage or all the bills or all the rent or, this or that, which I'm super grateful for, then I couldn't afford to live by myself or, this or that, and I'll never find anyone again or this or that. And so you've gotten this grateful mentality, and maybe they're a narcissistic person who's kind of beat that in your head. You couldn't do it without me. You couldn't make it without me, this and that. And so you become like almost Stockholm grateful to the point where, it's become complacency. Like, I better not leave because then I'll never have something again. I won't have something as nice again. But sometimes less, but being happy is 1,000 times better. So I think for a lot of you, you've used this grateful kind of mentality as almost like a settle mentality, okay? And what's keeping you in it is focus. And I do think it is the fact that you're so focused on what you're afraid of not being able to do, that you're struggling to focus on what is really out there that you could do. And again, a lot of this may not be your fault if you are in a toxic situation, because I know a lot of us get in those toxic situations, right? I myself have been in a narcissistic, abusive relationship where I spent years of my life listening to, you wouldn't be able to make it financially without me because, I pay most of the bills, or you wouldn't be able to, go back to work because you've been a stay-at-home mom for XYZ amount of years now. When they were the one who talked me into quitting work when I got had the kids, that kind of stuff, right? So it's like you get into these situations and then you're kind of like, wait a minute, I can't do it. And I'm so focused on what if I lose this and I can't get that, you become scared. It's almost a fear, right? So the thing is, what's your optimal outcome? And that's purity. And in this particular card, this type of purity here, a lot of times this can reference like moral purity. But for you, this is more like a childlike purity, a simplicity, okay? Everything I'm getting off this card is like an innocence, okay? This is like simplifying your life, right? This is like going back to square one. This is like saying it is okay if you can't, find a job paying as much as this job. So what? Start over. Start over, like at whatever makes you happy, right? And I always use that same old example, which is just because I think it's a bizarre job and maybe it's a wonderful job for some people, but selling snow cones on the roadside in Alaska, because it's kind of an odd job. But if that is what is your dream job and it's going to make you happier than happy, then do it, right? Because life is short and you need to return to the things, when we're little, we dream of being ballerinas. We dream of being, certain types of things, right? G.I. Joe, whatever, right? And a lot of us lose that dream. We lose that passion. We lose all that because, our parents put us on a certain trajectory, right? You're going to go to college and you're going to do this, or certain things happen in life and we end up with this person and then we get stuck with that path and that's where we go. Or, we jump into the first job we get into and we kind of get stuck in that job and we get a couple raises and and we stay there forever, right? And that's just how our life works out. But it doesn't have to, especially if we're starting to make a realization that we're not really happy in this job. You get one chance to go around, right? So this is where you need to return to the basics, okay? If you feel like this person is not making you happy, KonMari that, right? That doesn't bring you peace, it doesn't bring you joy, toss it, right? This is where you need to return to the kind of childlike innocence and excitement. What makes you happy, and find it, get it. This is where you're going to be happiest, right? Like I said, you might live in a beautiful, wonderful home, okay? And that significant other might be paying for it, and you might be so grateful. And you might sit there and tell yourself, you know what? If I leave this person, they're right. I would never be able to afford a home like this. I would never be able to afford that car. I would never be able to afford that if I leave them. Never on my own. Okay. But what would be better for you to be in a tiny house, driving a much less nice, fancy schmancy car, and you're super happy and you're not alone because you can have friends and date people and do what you want and people won't make you feel lonely in your own big giant home while they're there? Or to sit in that big giant home feeling lonely and depressed and sad and complacent and like you're going nowhere while somebody's sitting right next to you? I mean, do kids care how big their house is most of the time? Do they care what kind of car you're driving most of the time when they're little? They just care if they get to go with mommy and daddy somewhere fun. Ice cream makes them happy, right? This is what we need to return to. This is what you're going to return to. That childlike joy and innocence. And that's what you're going to happen. That's your optimal outcome. Okay. But how do you get there, right? You're like, lady, shut up talking and tell me how to get there. Okay. I gotcha. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to figure out what you want to come to fruition. That's number one. And you may not have even had the chance to think about what you want, right? Because you're so busy just living the same life, doing the same thing, surviving, not thriving, right? Thinking about what you want has never even been an option. You've been put on a path or trajectory by your parents, by your significant other, by work, by whatever since day one, and you've never had much choice. Well, now you get to. Think about what you want to see come to fruition. Visualize what you want. What's your happy spot? What's your happy place? What's your happy job? What's your happy life? What would make you happy? Okay, I don't care if you want to be a gypsy traveling around in a caravan car. If that's what makes you happy, you want to see come to fruition, picture it, imagine it, write it down, and start working on it, right? Resiliency. Listen, resiliency is a strong, powerful characteristic. It's fantastic. But this is not what you want to live in. Nobody wants to live resilient, right? You don't want to live where every day you have to be resilient from that day, right? No. You want to be resilient in that I can bounce back from anything, right? They say I can't make it without them. They say I could never get a better job because I've poured so much time into this, or I couldn't make the money, or I couldn't do as well, or I wouldn't be as happy. They say that, but you have resilience. You can do anything you want. And this resilience is going to show because it's in you and you know you have that resilience. So put that to use. Put it to use in every form and fashion you have. Use your resilience in every way you have. And part of that resilience, listen, this is so important. The part of that resilience that is very important is to be crafty and smart. Resilient people are not islands. Resilient people are smart people, okay? Resilient people don't work alone. What makes resilient people smart is that they don't know all the answers. They know how to find all the answers, okay? That's what makes people truly smart and truly resilient, okay? So you thinking that I've got to go this alone is what makes me resilient. No, sir, or no, madam, okay? What that is I know how to find the answers. So if I don't know where to get another job, I know who might know and I'll reach out to them, okay? If I don't know how to get a place to stay, I will call people that I do know, best friends, family members, loved ones. Maybe I can stay with them for a little bit while I get back on my feet, okay? That's part of being resilient, using your resources to the best of your ability. That's resilience, okay? Don't think you have to be resilient on your own. If you do that, that's your first mistake, right? Everybody needs a little help from time to time. Do not be too proud to use that. If you do that, that's going to be your first mistake. So part of resilience is if you don't have the answer, know how to get the answer, okay? And then creation. Creation in this deck is all about finding your path, okay? So once you know what you want the fruition to be, once you know what the ending is going to be, this is the goal. This is the plan to get there. Once you've got the goal planned, once you find the people to support that plan, then you can put that plan into place and into action, period. That's easy, cheesy, lemon squeezy. You can do all of that like that. You have the skill, the talent, the contacts, the people. You have everything you need to do it. Does that mean you might have to start out at square one? Yes, it does. Does that mean you might have to, completely learn something new? Yes, it does. Does that mean that you might have to be alone for a little bit? Yes, it does. But do you care? You're alone now with somebody in the house. Somebody who's probably telling you what you can and can't do. Trust me, when you get your own space and nobody's standing over you telling that you're doing something wrong, what you can, can't do, this and that, trust me, you won't care if that whole house is the size of your living room right now. It'll be yours. I promise you, I've been there. And that's when your childlike, pure bliss will shine. Trust me that you will love this. This is a beautiful reading for you. I feel like just the fact that you have started with the realization that something's got to give, you are no longer going to put up with this, give, and no take back, no equitable, life sharing here, that you've realized that and you're done with that. I think you've already made a big breakthrough and you are on your way to a much happier ending, okay? So I am so proud of you and I think things are going to be amazing, okay? So I hope this works out for you. If it does, please do like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, all that other great stuff. Hope to see you back for your Celtic spirit readings. I am going to resume putting those up. I just wanted to get all of the full moon readings up before the full moon is gone, just in case you were feeling that pull of the full moon, that you wanted to do something, leap, and you wanted to know what I better do to leap. Figure out your ending. Find your resources. Make your plan. get at it. You've got this. Bye.